of 8th standard studying in Master G Kalpaka. Today I am going to present a seminar on the topic Microorganisms, Threat and Foe. Today in this seminar we will learn about the following topics: microorganisms and their environment, uses of microorganisms which includes vaccines and fermentation, disadvantages of microorganisms, nitrogen cycle which includes nitrogen fixation, nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification and denitrification. Now let's see what are microorganisms. Often we can notice some strange microscopic organisms which are present in stagnant pond water and patches of muddy water. These organisms are none other than microorganisms. They are living organisms which can be seen by our human eye. Rather, it requires a microscope to be seen. They can be either one cell, which is known as unicellular, such as bacteria and protozoa, or multiple cell, multicellular, such as some algae and fungi. The branch of science which deals with microorganisms is called as microbiology. Where do microorganisms live? Microorganisms are present everywhere around us. In the air we breathe, the water we drink, soil, marshy lands, or even inside our bodies. Microbes have the capacity of surviving extreme conditions ranging from very cold, very hot temperatures, that is in hot springs, volcanoes and deserts, to ice cold temperature which is present in Antarctica and space. Now let's see the types of microorganisms. There are 5 major types of microorganisms. They are bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa and virus. Now let's see how microorganisms are useful to us. Making of curd, cheese and bread. Curd is prepared by a bacteria called lactobacillus, which coagulate, means join the proteins present in the milk. This leads to the production of curd. These bacteria are also used in the production of cheese, pickles and many other food items. A fungi called yeast is used in the baking industry to prepare bread, pastries and cakes. Now let's see the commercial purposes of microbes. Microbes are used in large-scale industries, that is production of wine, alcohol and acetic acid, which is used in vinegar. For making these beverage products, a fungi called yeast is used. They convert natural sugar present in barley, wheat and fruits into alcohol by the process of fermentation. Now let's see some medicinal uses of microorganisms. When we get sick, doctors often prescribe antibiotic tablets, capsules or injections such as penicillin. The sources of these medicines are microorganisms. These medicines are designed to kill or stop the growth of disease-causing microbes which are known as pathogens and is known as antibiotics. They are also used in animals, especially poultry animals, to check microbial infections. Examples of antibiotics are tetracycline, erythromycin and streptomycin. Now let's see how vaccines are produced. They are also produced from microorganisms. Vaccines work by introducing a dead or weakened pathogen into a healthy human body. This triggers the immune system to produce antibodies which then fights off the invader. After the pathogen has been suppressed, the antibodies produced remain in the body, thus protecting us from any future diseases. Hence, when an actual live pathogen invades the body, the antibodies will be able to quickly kill and suppress it. There are vaccines for several diseases such as cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox and hepatitis. Microorganisms are also used in increasing soil fertility. Let's see how. Certain bacteria such as rhizobium and blue-green algae present in the soil fixes atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds and releases it into the soil. This is because plants cannot intake the atmospheric nitrogen directly. Thus, it increases soil fertility. It also cleans the environment. Microorganisms act as decomposers. They decompose dead and decaying matter, plant and animal matter, into humus, which then dissolves into the soil because it is an organic substance. This keeps the environment clean. Now let's see why microorganisms are considered as a disadvantageous organisms. Although many microbes are useful to humans, there are some microbes which are harmful to us. These microbes are responsible for creating diseases in plants and animals alike. Such harmful microbes are often referred to as pathogens. These pathogens enter the host body through air, food, water, direct contact, or cuts or wounds. Diseases which are caused through contaminated food, water, air, or direct contact is known as communicable diseases. Examples of communicable diseases are tuberculosis, typhoid, cold, tetanus, etc. Some organisms such as mosquitoes and houseflies act as carriers of pathogens. These are also known as vectors. They spread these pathogens from one place to another. Houseflies sit on garbage and animal excreta. This is causing microbes stick to the leg. When these houseflies sit on open food, it becomes contaminated. The pathogen passes on to the food, and when we eat this food, it leads to diseases. Another carrier, the female Anopheles mosquito, carry the pathogen which is responsible for causing malaria. These pathogens are present in the saliva of the mosquito. When it bites us, the pathogen gets transmitted to our body. Another variety of mosquito which also causes or transfers diseases is the female AIDS mosquito, which is responsible for causing dengue. Now let's see some human diseases and their causative microorganism. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacteria and mode of transmission is air. Measles, it is caused by a virus and again the mode of transmission is air. Chickenpox, it is also caused by a virus and mode of transmission can either be air or direct contact with the person infected. Polio, it is caused by a virus and it is transmitted by air or water. Cholera, it is caused by a bacteria and it is transmitted through water and food. Typhoid, it is also caused by a bacteria and it transmits through water. Hepatitis B, it is a virus-caused disease and it transmits through water. Malaria, as we have already seen, it is transmitted by the female Anopheles mosquito, is caused by a protozoa and mode of transmission is mosquitoes. Now we will see how microorganisms cause diseases in plants. Plants diseases. Citrus canker. It is caused by a bacteria and mode of transmission is air. Rust of wheat. It is caused by a fungi and mode of transmission is air or seeds. Yellow vein mosaic of bindi or okra. It is caused by a virus and it transmits through insects. Now let's see how food can be preserved to avoid the spoiling of food. Chemical methods. Salts and edible oils are common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms in food items. Therefore, they are called as preservatives. We add salt or acid preservatives to pickles to prevent the attack of microbes. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfate are common preservatives. They are also used in jams and squashes to check their spoilage. Preservation by oil and vinegar. Use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles, because bacteria cannot live in such an environment. Vegetables, fruits, fish and meat are often preserved by this method. Heat and cold treatments. Before using packaged milk, we often heat it first. This is because boiling kills the microorganism that may be present in the milk. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator. Microorganisms cannot survive in low temperatures, thus it inhibits the growth of microorganisms. Now let's discuss about nitrogen cycle. We know what a water cycle is. It is the continuous movement of water from air to land and back to air in different forms. Nitrogen cycle is also similar to water cycle. 78% of the atmosphere is comprised of nitrogen. Plants need sufficient nitrogen for proper growth, but they can't use atmospheric nitrogen directly. Thus, the atmospheric nitrogen undergoes different changes, and this is known as nitrogen cycle. Hence, nitrogen cycle is the circulation of nitrogen in various life forms. This allows the amount of nitrogen in the air to be constant. There are several processes involved in nitrogen cycle. They are: first, nitrogen fixation. The process of converting free atmospheric nitrogen, that is nitrogen gas, into nitrogenous compounds is known as nitrogen fixation. This process can take place in two ways, either by lightning or by microbes such as rhizobium and blue-green algae, which is known as biological nitrogen fixation. The second step is nitrogen assimilation. Plants observe the nitrogenous compounds released by biological nitrogen fixation and use the stored nitrogen, which is in the form of plant protein, gets passed to the stored nitrogen, which is stored in the form of plant protein, gets passed to animals when they eat them. The next step is ammonification. When plants or animals die, the stored protein, which is the form of nitrogen, gets converted to ammonia and ammonia compounds by certain microorganisms. This process is called as ammonification. The next step is nitrification. The process of conversion of ammonia into nitrates by nitrifying bacteria present in the soil is known as nitrification. The last step is denitrification. Some of the nitrates which are released into the soil is again observed by plants. The rest gets converted back to atmospheric nitrogen by denitrifying bacteria, which goes back to the atmosphere. This process is known as denitrification. Here we can see the nitrogen cycle. First, the atmospheric nitrogen is converted by the process of nitrogen fixation into nitrogenous compounds. Then these nitrogenous compounds are used by plants, which is known as nitrogen assimilation, and then the plants eat animals and the plant protein, which is a form of nitrogen, gets converted to animal protein. Then when these animals or plants die, the nitrogenous waste from excretion is converted back to nitrates by ammonia into ammonia by process of ammonification. Then these are converted into nitrates by nitrifying bacteria, and then it is converted back into atmospheric nitrogen by denitrifying bacteria. Thank you.